For those of you watching, just me Euro step the shit out of my mic. What?
You didn't Euro step anything.
Okay,
No.
I don't like the attitude already. I'm off the rip of this Three Amigos podcast. Welcome back, boys. How have you been? It's been a week and a half, 2 weeks since we've seen each other on this beautiful live garage that you're looking at. How have you guys been?
I've been great. Been missing you boys. A lot of
Happy
football.
Turkey Day for those that we didn't get to see. Love you guys. Happy Turkey Day.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's been a long week and a half, 2 weeks, math's hard. But I've been missing you. What?
Off the rip a little bit under the digging. We'll get to that.
Were we? Oh, I didn't
We'll
realize.
talk about it in the Birthdown Diner. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Fucker.
Jay,
Well,
how was your Thanksgiving?
Well, my ear holes haven't been raped for the last 2 weeks, but now that Alex jumped on with his mic, it might just be that time. But it had a great Thanksgiving. It was fun, low key. Obviously had a great day. You guys can all tell that, unlike Chris. But Chris had a good weekend, so I guess it just came back. But no, great to be back. Missed you guys the last couple of weeks. I think just life gets the better of us sometimes, and we're all fresh kids,
Holidays,
kids, traveling, holidays, work, all those things add up, but we're happy to be back. Alex, your mic is still the worst. And Chris, you're still just so much energized. So can't wait to get started with you guys today as we get through this podcast.
Am I not bringing it enough? I'm fighting a cold over here for you.
I've been yelling.
That's what the beanie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
when he jumped on earlier, I had to call him Slim Shady, like straight out of Detroit. Look at him.
All right. Well, no need for that. I'll back you
Sorry,
up.
I'm nursing a cold.
Yeah, no need for that. That's rough.
The
man off the camera, Mick Jam. How was your Thanksgiving, brother?
Thank you for asking. It was good. Spent it in beautiful Albuquerque. It was cold up there, but it was nice seeing the season of fall, which Alex doesn't believe in. But
nope, not real. Also,
real.
Can you take the word?
It's a beautiful season.
Albuquerque. It's not beautiful. Albuquerque is trash.
I think it has some good things. A lot of bad things.
Like blue meth.
Yes.
The only good thing from Albuquerque is the person you're dating, and her family. No,
you said nothing. Now you've added like 5 to 10 different people. So what is your stance, Alex? Do you love or hate Albuquerque?
You're backtracking on this Albuquerque state. Are you going to stand on it and say that it's the worst place ever? Or are you going to start, being like, well,
no, it's not the worst place ever. We all know what the worst place ever is, and that is Ohio.
Thank you.
And you know why it's the worst place ever? Because they can't get a damn win in the last 3 years. Oh my gosh, what are they doing over there in Ohio? What are they feeding their boys? Little pussy shit. They can't beat Michigan. Nothing against Michigan. They're a really, really good team, but they don't have their head coach, and you still can't beat them.
Sharon Moore. And here's the craziest thing: is Ryan Day is the reason why Jim Harbaugh is not on that sideline. Ryan Day's bitch ass is the reason that Michigan was illegally hacked. They found out what they were up to, and he got Harbaugh off the sideline, and he still couldn't win. He got out-coached by our interim head coach. Mind you, all Ryan Day has to do is be the head coach. Sharon Moore, he had to be the O-line coach, the offensive coordinator, and the head coach. Tell me the last time any coach was in charge of 3 different things during a game in the last 50 years in college or NFL. It does not happen. It does not happen. And he out-coached him. In fact, Ryan Day coached scared. Justin informed me before the show that he wasn't able to watch the game. Alex, did you watch it? McJam, did you watch it?
Well,
over in Albuquerque.
I should say this. I did watch it. I was on shift, so I got like glimpses of it. I watched it, but I didn't watch it.
They played scared. They coached scared. Michigan is now a mental thing for them, which is amazing because for years, Ohio State became a mental thing for Michigan. There were years where Michigan had better teams. They were going into the game as a hotter team, but the mental game took over. And that's now what happened to Ohio State and Ryan Day. He's coaching scared. At the end of the first half, 35 seconds left or so, they have 2 timeouts. They are just over the 50-yard line into Michigan territory.
Oh, I watched this. This was dumb.
It's 4th and 2. The old Urban Meyer Ohio State would have gone for it. Well, instead, what Ryan Day did was he let that clock bleed all the way down to 3 seconds, call a timeout, and let a kicker kick the longest field goal of his life in that game. His longest field goal in his life up to that point was a 50-yarder that he did in high school. I believe the longest in college so far was 47. This was a 52-yarder in the big house
It was crazy.
in the game. And that bitch missed. And he's not really a bitch. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Ryan Day's the bitch for making that call. That was a I'm so scared of what you're going to do to me if this becomes a turnover on downs in 30 seconds left, that I would rather miss this field goal than try and go for it. That was that you're playing to lose at that point. And what I absolutely love is that Ryan Day, a few years ago, before this happened, made the comment that he hopes, I don't know if it was the NCAA or the Big Ten, but he said that one of them needs to have a mercy rule because they're about to hang 100 on Michigan. Let me tell you the score of the game since then. 2001, 42-27. 2022, 45-23. And most recently, 30-24, for a full total of 117-74. In 3 games, he hasn't even gotten to 100, but he was going to hang 100 in 1. He is fucked. He ain't doing, like, next year, I'm wearing number 4. That might be our 4th win in a row. And that might be the nail in the coffin for Ryan Day. And to be honest with you, it might be Sharon Moore doing it to him again. Because now the NFL rumors with Harbaugh are heating back up, especially with all this drama. I mean, it would be hard to blame him. The NCAA clearly is out to get him with all these things. He is never going to be left alone. I couldn't blame him for wanting to run back to the NFL. So if that's what he does, Sharon Moore is a guaranteed head coach for Michigan going forward. He's more than proven that. Not just the game. He's actually, what is he? He missed the first game of this year, but then he was the head coach for the following 2. So he's like 5-0 as an interim head coach this year. He beat Penn State in Penn State. He beat Maryland in Maryland.
Big one.
Against Tua's little brother. People don't give Maryland enough credit, but they're actually a good program right now. And then they beat Ohio State. Like, he is a definite head coach. So if Harbaugh does stay, I want them to throw the bank at Sharon Moore to stay as OC, be the highest paid assistant in the NCAA, with the expectation that he would eventually take over the program, because that's a young man. He's only 37. Got a lot of coaching left in him. That is pretty much all I have to. Oh, not only do we do it without Harbaugh, we lost our All-American best offensive lineman in the 3rd quarter, Zach Sinter. Poor dude broke his tibia and fibula. It was apparently such a gruesome injury, they wouldn't replay it on what happened. And apparently the Ohio State player was really shook up afterwards. So here's my one bit of niceness to Ryan Day, is that he apparently ran up into the tunnel to give condolences to this kid's parents and everything. That's a pretty classy move. I wouldn't have expected Urban Meyer to ever do something like that. So I'll pay some respect to him in that. But besides for that, he's just a guy who was born on third base and thought he hit a triple.
What a way to describe Ryan Day. Justin, do you have anything to return to say to that as the resident Ohio State fan on this podcast?
Well, you said you hate everything Ohio, so you can't hate everything Ohio because somehow, some way, I come from there. So, you're welcome. There's one good thing
Distantly.
That you do like. Distantly.
No, you don't come from there. Your family comes from there.
Yeah, but without that, ain't no me. They out in Ohio, they ain't no me.
They're not all bad. I said
but,
I love Cedar Point.
but not watching the game and just hearing like even like what you're saying, because like, dude, I didn't watch a recap. Like, it doesn't, whatever. Like, it's Saturday. Like I told you, I work every Saturday. No reason
Also,
to get involved.
who wants to watch a recap of a game you lost?
Yeah, exactly. So just hearing what you just said about being like 4th and 2 and just deciding not to go for it, like, dude, that's an easy, like, no, you can do a fucking quarterback sneak there. You can do a dive. You can do a sweep. You can do a quick slant. Like, you can do a bajillion plays right there to get you 2 yards to get yourself in a better position with 2 timeouts. Like, how much time was left?
They had like 35 seconds, already over halfway down the field, and had 2 timeouts. And in college, when you throw the ball and you get a touchdown, a first down, it automatically stops the clock until you get your line set again.
See, dumb.
Yeah,
because even if you did that, you could have done it, got into a spike position, spiked the football, and
exactly
right, and then you would have what, another fucking
at least
20 seconds, 25 seconds.
At least get your kicker within closer range.
Yeah,
you get the first down. You still have 2 timeouts. You still use one of them. Whatever.
Yeah,
you run.
You can still kick the field goal.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, at this point, what's your percentage of hitting a 52-yarder field goal? Like, what's this kid's long?
I don't know.
Right? You think about all those things, and at the end of the day, would you rather take a chance on 4th and 2 and get a little closer so you can actually win the game, or you just be like, oh, like you just said, kind of bitch out, right? And I feel like that's kind of what it sounded like. Kind of sounded like a little bitch out, like didn't want to take the risk, whatever. Rather, it had an opportunity to say, oh, we attempted points rather than, oh, we didn't get the first down.
Yeah, Michigan went for it 3 times on 4th down, got all of them.
That's why you guys won. Well, that's like sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit, right?
You got to risk it. This is a game where you have to risk it, and you have to win the running game. And Michigan once again won the rush yards. The score is honestly, it makes it seem like a closer game than it was. Michigan was in the, like, Ohio State never had the lead. They never had the ball with the lead.
But you guys have one of the top running backs too in the league right now.
Oh yeah, they have 2 really good running backs, but more importantly, their offensive line is just incredible, and their defense is top notch. Marvin Harrison Jr. said he has never seen coverage like that before that game, and he should get used to it because he's going to get a lot of attention in the NFL.
For sure. His name.
He's going to have a lot of eyes.
Yeah. Well. No, besides that, hey, good for you guys winning the game. I know you guys were all hyped. Tom Brady posted a hype video that you sent to everybody to watch, which didn't work, so I had to go out of my way to do it, by the way, and I still watched it for
I'm sorry.
you.
I didn't watch it.
It was a great promo.
He said it was cool. It was actually exciting.
It wasn't Michigan biased. It was just about the game.
Yeah, it was about really the rivalry that comes from it. It was really good. But college football is slowly coming to an end. We're about to hit these championship games, these conference, and so
I'm pissed about because I want to see Michigan, Ohio State again. I don't want to see
next year, bud.
I know, bud.
Next year it's going to. So actually, that's the other thing about this game.
It might not even be.
The stakes were so high.
It might not even be Michigan, Ohio State. You're, I think, discounting how good Washington, Oregon are going to be.
For sure. It could definitely.
But next year it could actually happen.
But it could actually happen next year.
Oh, okay. I get
like this game was so significant because it was the 5th time that they were meeting as 2 undefeated programs going into it. Top teams in the nation. Yes, could Ohio State somehow sneak into the playoff depending on what happens this weekend? Sure. It's much slimmer than it was last year. So really, it felt like a playoff game where the loser wasn't going to get in. And next year, with the removal of the divisions, and honestly, the extension of the playoff where it goes to 12 teams, obviously the loser of that game still getting in the playoff when it's 12 teams. Kind of the stakes start to fall away. It's still a very important game. It's still the biggest rivalry in college sports. It's still a huge game, but the stakes will have never been as high as they were this year. So for them to get that win, it felt even bigger because it's gonna be kind of bittersweet going forward.
And I forget how big rivalry weekend is in college football. Like, man, I was watching teams like
Alabama,
Valley, like Auburn, Florida, FSU. That team they fight each other on the field. I know that Auburn Alabama game was intense.
That was crazy.
This is one of the best weekends for college football every year.
Sure.
every
every
year.
year. But yeah, interesting that you guys going in Big Ten, Michigan versus Iowa. We talked a little bit about that personally.
Yeah.
But man,
It's going to get ugly.
Hopefully. I don't know. Their defense might be able to stop you, but their
defense
offense
is really good. So I'm excited because I think it'll probably be the best defense that they've faced. It'll be tough. Ohio, easy for me to say. State has a really good defense. So does Penn State, but I think Iowa might be up there, even like a little bit better.
I was really good at defense.
I was like the Steelers.
That's the only reason why they have their record the way it is from the defense. So I think it'll be a great test for our offense to get ready for the playoff by going up against them. But I think our defense should have absolutely no issues with that offense.
Yeah. Are we picking the games here, or are we waiting for the prediction podcast to pick them?
I wasn't even going to pick them, but we can talk about them. I think Michigan, some of these are obvious. Like Michigan's obviously going to win this game.
Yeah.
Like if Michigan doesn't win this game, they don't obviously.
It's shocking.
Yeah, the only one that's obvious is I think the Big Ten. Every other one I think is pretty close.
Yeah,
Big
Alabama
10,
could take Georgia.
So yeah, we go to the SEC, Alabama, Georgia. Alabama's on fire right now.
Georgia's good.
But if you look, yes, they had that crazy ass finish, but it was to Auburn, who I believe was 5-7 or something going in. Like they weren't a very great program going into that game. It's just
the bowl. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah. I mean, they're not this is not the Alabama that we've seen for years before.
But I mean, even when they had that
we could definitely predict it. We could definitely predict it. And Alex, you know what? I think right now we got 2 on Michigan. You want to make it 3?
I'm a Michigan guy. Yeah.
Okay. You're not.
I bleed blue right now.
Penn State guy.
I bleed blue right now.
Wow. You move over
we'll take them for now.
I'll bleed blue.
Jesus, he's like
so quick. Listen,
I
understand that I'm not a Michigan fan, but I think I have the fieriness and the love and the hate to be a Michigan fan.
Thank you.
That just sounds like a lot of other
Welcome
programs.
aboard.
But McJam, who else you got?
Yeah, Michigan.
I want to be a Michigan fan now. Yeah, go JJ McCarthy.
Is it MacArthur? Or is it McCarthy?
No, it is McCarthy. You got it right.
McCarthy. SEC, number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama.
It's going to be a great game. I'm going to go Georgia.
Bama needs to win this game if they want to even chance to get in the playoffs, though. I understand that they might not. Their quarterback is pretty dog shit half the time. Yeah, he's not great. He wants this Heisman or something like that.
He's gotten better over the season, but
he's gotten better. But after one game, he's like, "Give me the Heisman."
After a Hail Mary, give it to me.
Give it to me.
Dude,
did he really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not see that.
Give me the Heisman. You got benched for 3 games because you were bad.
Honestly, McJam isn't going to want to hear this, but Jaden Daniels should probably be the Heisman.
Bo Nix is playing out of his mind.
Bo Nix is really great too, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, who you guys taking? You taking Georgia?
Yeah,
Georgia.
I'm taking Georgia.
I'll take Georgia too. Sure.
Tight game though.
I don't really care. The Pac-12 last game of the Pac-12 as we've known and loved it for how many years?
Well, it's been around for a long time, just different iterations.
About like right now.
Pac-10, Pac-8.
Yeah. I'm talking about like what we know right now. This Pac-12 of all these 12 teams, like we've known it for a while like this.
I think it became the Pac-12 from the Pac-10 in the late 2000s.
So almost our
Either
whole
or not, like, really good
football
matchup.
Watching lives. Yeah, we have Washington and Oregon. This one definitely has playoffs,
which is funny. You get 2 teams that are about to go to the Big Ten to close out the.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense
Pac-12.
to why they go to a better division because they're just the top dogs in this division.
I honestly, I understand that you guys give shit on Pac-12. Maybe not you as much, Justin, but Christopher, this Big Ten, they're a lot better than you give them credit for.
No. I'm not saying they're not good teams. Oregon and Washington are good teams. My criticism of the conference, and it kind of goes with the Big 12 too, but it's a little bit more drastic sometimes with the Pac-12, is that there are games where they just decide, okay, we got our offense, we got our special teams, and defense, why don't you stay on the bus? They do not play tough defense. So you get these crazy ass high scoring games and you're like, oh my God.
West Coast offense.
It had to be amazing. And then you watch it and it's like, yeah, you get some flash plays, but really what it is it's horrible coverage. It's guys wide the fuck open all the time.
Okay, well, who are you taking in this game? Oh, unless you want to respond to that, Jay.
I think that was just a weird question to ask an elitist of college football because
Yeah, that was a
I'm not
weird.
an elitist.
He's
an
a Big
elitist,
Ten.
bro.
He's a hell
like,
of an elitist.
If it's
That's
not
like
sorry
SEC, like SEC and Big Ten are like to me elitist in
SEC's
college
pretty
football
fucking
because
trash
like
too.
but
Besides,
you have such a
Alabama,
different
Georgia.
history. It's a richer history because they're just
they make the
older
most TV
parts
money.
of the country,
No big
right?
deal.
And they do.
We get
100%.
$1 billion.
Or like, but also you have so many people in the East Coast that are going to watch your games because they're on times they typically start. Where like not a lot of people watch West Coast games. They start at 10 p.m. sometimes, right?
Well, that's the
No one's gonna
problem
sit
is
up
they
and
don't
watch
do
that.
themselves any favors with those 10 p.m. West Coast time.
But like,
games.
you want to play? Where do you want to play in Arizona? On a fucking
That's what I'm
Saturday?
saying,
Do you want to
though.
play at night or do you want to play midday in 112-degree weather? I'm
Okay.
playing at night.
Don't get me wrong. Maybe the first 2 games of the season, yeah, make them night games. I can get that. But take advantage of the heat. No one else lives in this shit. When they come here, they're going to get drained. Make them late afternoon games. So, yeah, maybe by the time the game's ending, it's starting to cool off a
Even
bit. But when
morning.
it starts, it's hot. And
I say do a morning
let
game, get it
them
really
out.
hot. Like get it hot towards
Like,
the end of the game.
take
Where you really need
advantage
them
of
the
it.
most.
Yeah.
Like it's fourth quarter. It's 2 p.m. It's hot as fuck. That should be it right there. But
boys.
So that's why I was like questioning because it was just a very lead because Chris is
Yeah.
that. But
Wrong
ultimately,
person to ask. Sorry.
I'm going for UW since I do live in Seattle. So
that's
I do want
true.
them to win. And it'll be good for our little city. So
Oregon's not losing again.
That's what I'm thinking. I want Washington to win it, but I do think Oregon wins it.
I think I'm gonna go.
Come on, Alex, don't leave me hanging.
I want to go Bo Nix because he's so good, but I think this is Washington's
Penix Jr.
year. Yeah, I understand, but I think this is Washington's year to actually make the playoffs. I think this is where they get to the playoffs. They make it count and they go through and they win it. No, I'm just kidding now. But they actually go through and they play a good game against Michigan because I think Michigan's going to get the number 1 overall. So I would be pissed.
They would not get the overrun spot. They'll get 2.
If Georgia keeps it, they've played fucking dog shit nobody.
Well, Michigan and Washington would still played each other. When Oregon or Georgia would play, then the
FSU.
seed. If they win.
But I think I want to see Washington, Michigan to see what it might be, what it could potentially be like next year. I think that'd be a lot of fun because I think they would be.
I mean, go
better.
back to 2021. We had a night game in Michigan against them and spanked that ass. So
that's what I'm saying. I really want to.
That was like the season that they literally went like 3 and whatever. Like,
no, they had a good season.
That? No,
they've been good recent years.
No, they haven't.
Yes,
2
they
years
have.
ago, I went to a game that got spanked by Oregon, bro. No, they haven't. Have you lived in
that's
Seattle?
Oregon.
Are you in UW County? No,
That's
motherfucker.
Oregon.
I am.
No, Washington.
All right, and
Washington
no, they have
has
not
been
that good.
Washington has been rocky the past like 5 years. They've been up and down. Like they've had good seasons. McJam, can you quote that we're not talking?
I'm looking it up right now.
In 2021, Washington was 4-8, and they lost to Michigan in the
then.
3rd game.
Boo!
Whatever.
See, come on now. I told you they were good last year because Penix came in. Last year they were. Oh no, that's 2022, right?
Yeah, last year.
Last year, yeah. So they did good. They went to the Alamo Bowl. I don't know what they ended up being ranked, but that wasn't this year.
Yeah.
Like
what I'll say is I think Washington's gonna take it. I really want to see Washington, Michigan play big game to go to the national championship. Like what could become a big, not the same rivalry of Ohio, but like a big rivalry if Washington can keep up their like stature and like how good their teams are going to be. Because that's the one fault that Washington has had is Oregon is the team that keeps being good, and Washington is the team that has flashes where it's like that one year that ASU beat them. Remember that, Jake? Where they were undefeated and they came into ASU and they lost. But that was like 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago it really was, but it was quite a while ago. It wasn't like, and they're not a great they're an up and down team. So, but I want to see them play Michigan. Could be fun.
I think so too. That would be fun.
ACC, Louisville, Florida State. I think Louisville takes this.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about them.
Dude, Florida State doesn't have their quarterback.
No,
Florida's
right.
not that good. The fact that they beat them good, like they're not that good of a team. But I think Louisville looks crazy. If you've ever watched them play, they look crazy good.
So
Or like
to
an
me,
ACC team.
To me, I just shit all over the Pac-12 a little bit. I'll backtrack here and tell you that right now the ACC is the weakest Power 5 conference this year by far.
Oh yeah,
By far.
Clemson not being who they were supposed to be.
Yeah, Clemson has looked like shit.
Florida.
Like Florida. Well, Florida's SEC.
Oh, they're still trash.
They have a
Why-
rivalry, but they're technically different conferences.
That's
I
weird.
think they
I thought they were
switched.
same conferences.
Yeah, I know. It's confusing, but like to me, I'm just not that impressed with Florida State.
Like Duke is not doing that good. UNC, both those squads have good quarterbacks that they're supposed to be like a good team, and they just couldn't hold it together this year.
No, they could not.
Who are you taking?
So I'll go Louisville too. I don't know this game, so I'm just gonna go with the bandwagon of it.
Oh, McJen, we didn't even get your pick from the Pac-12. Who are you taking? Oh, you take Oregon, right?
He said Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. And then I'll take Florida State for this one.
FSU.
So, fuck. I kind of want to switch my picks and go with Washington instead of Oregon, and then go with Louisville here. Only because if I stick with Oregon and I go with Louisville, then I'm rooting for a scenario in which Ohio State could sneak in.
Yep.
I'm weak.
Yeah,
All right,
baby.
cool. And then this last
Hey.
one's easy.
Oklahoma State Cowboys and the Texas Longhorns.
Texas.
You would think Texas.
You would hope
Right.
Texas.
You would think, but
is yours going to show up and play like he should be playing?
that's the thing is, yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see Oklahoma State winning this.
Me too, but I think Texas is going to win.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma. Texas lost to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. It's their only loss, right?
Yes. But that's a bad loss.
Yeah, it's a bad loss. I don't know why they lost that game. They technically
It's a rival game.
It should be. I understand it's a rival game, but it should be whatever 1-2 you want, but the two that are 1 and 2, Georgia, Michigan, and then it should technically probably be Texas if they beat that Oklahoma game, and then Florida State, and then Washington, or maybe Washington and Florida State. But Texas should be undefeated right now.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yep, but they're not.
And as far as the rankings go, to me, it shouldn't matter as long as you're in the top 4. If you're making it in, then you've got a chance.
Honestly, and
if you're good enough, you'll be fine.
If Michigan was to play Georgia like week 1 or whatever, because they get to the 4th spot, not saying they would, but yeah, you're going to play them eventually. Might as well just get it out of the way.
Right. Exactly. Like, so to me, it's just, that doesn't matter.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Texas. You boys taking Texas?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll go Oklahoma State then,
Oklahoma State. Cool.
just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, just for shits and gigs. So that's all we got on the NCAA segment of this show. Now we're going to get to the real, the good, the best shit that we know how to talk about, and that is the NFL, the National Football League. And boys, what a wild
That
2
look
weeks
you
we have
just
to talk
gave after
about.
you said that, I thought you were like double second guessing yourself. Like, did I get that right? You guys notice that with his eyes?
He's trying to have Alexism, but he realized he
The
was
National
right.
He's like,
Football League.
I got that right.
Wait, did I fuck up? No,
but-
Alex, you were right.
We're talking about it. We're here. We're talking about it. And are we going to go in the order of the thing?
Yeah.
Because
So here, how about I just lead it into you for you,
Thank
buddy?
you.
Because I'll make this easy. Because you just, Alex, you take life by the horns, and you just ride that bull. And sometimes you don't know when to get off or to let go. And that was a moment you could have let go and just let somebody else take over. But we're so
He was
excited
trying to set
because,
himself up, and he didn't know how.
dude, I think the boys have been putting in work these last few weeks. They decided no more. I'm done with this. Went and made some changes. Now they look at them looking hot, just in time for the steel mill to clock in. Get your hard hats, Alex. You ready to talk about the latest and the greatest for your Pittsburgh Steelers?
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Moving
to,
home from Canada.
absolutely come in to this establishment that you guys have created and talk about by far the best team on this podcast. Okay. So I know that I have been, how are we losing? Sad boy. Oh my God. I'm no more like that. I am not a Lions fan. Okay. I am a Pittsburgh Steelers
you're right.
fan.
You have a worse
Okay?
record, bitch.
That's fine. They have the worst record still in the playoffs. That's fine. So it's not about where you position yourself. It's about if you get in. I think we just said that. Did we not, Chris?
That sounds like a doggy style. Like, it's not a matter about the position. It's just if you get
it's not
in.
about where you position. It's where you begin, But what I will say is no more of this whoa me. We keep winning shit. We're on the train of we got Canada out of there. It's what we wanted. It's what we needed. It's what America needed. Get Canada out of our country. So now we've got that motherfucker out. And preface this. So sorry, Matt Canada. You're a human that has like a family and stuff like that. I hope you find another job, just not with Pittsburgh Steelers. But fuck you. And don't come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? So now he's gone. He's away. He is no longer in the establishment. When they announced that the running back coach was going to be the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach was going to call the plays, wild. Did not know how that was going to work. Did not know what was going to go on. Thought it was a very interesting move. But hey, 400 plus yards. I'll take it. Like, we're doing something. Kenny Pickett learned how to throw a ball more than 5 yards, which was real sick, really awesome. We beat a rival, obviously not the best beat, and with a backup quarterback of Browning, still a win. Still hard to beat a rival with no matter who we have. 2 weeks in a row, we should have beat the Browns, but it's fine. It's okay. We didn't beat them. They shit stained all over us, and now we have our shit stain on us. So what I will say, though, is I'm no longer bagging the Steelers ever again. We're going to be positive corner now. This is the Steel Mill. We're all about positivity. And man, what I will say, that offense was beautiful. That defense was immaculate. And that special teams, they got the job done. They did the dirty work of what a Steel Mill person does. And at this time, I will be opening up to questions if you guys have any.
Okay. Oh, Chris, go ahead. You seem super excited.
I just want to know real quick, Alex, do you realize just how poorly you set yourself up for them to get their ass kicked this weekend and for you to have to come on next weekend and be happy-go-lucky?
Yeah, no, we are in a new era of the steel mill. Steel mill.
You're eating steel now.
Yep, we are in the still positive mill, bro. We are here. We're there. We're gonna be everywhere, baby.
You know, I love how you opened this, by the way, with saying the best team on this podcast. Then late,
100%.
A minute later, he literally goes, I'm no longer a fan of this team. I am back on this team. I love the Steelers. Literally, like a week ago, you were crying about winning, and you became a Lions fan. And man, for the best team, I don't really see that, but whoever's here or there. Kenny Pickett has one good game. Are you back to sucking his cock, or what's your deal there?
Kenny Pickett might go and take us to the Super Bowl. He's definitely going to go. He's definitely going to come in. He's definitely going to win that playoff game. You're definitely going to owe me in that bet. And just for you, Chris, I didn't point at Justin because we're in a positive zone now. So I didn't point
appreciate that.
Just for you. I didn't point at him.
I cannot believe sometimes your arrogance about this, because ultimately at the end of the day, I understand positivity all the way through, right? But like, this man has one.
You obviously don't get it.
And you just said that you're going to be a Super Bowl contender, and he had one game where he finally passed over 400 yards.
Tell us we're not.
Game. I have a quarterback on my team that has more touchdowns than your fucking quarterback has thrown this year. Come on, boy.
Okay, hold on. I would like to respond to that. Thank you so much for your. We had a very horrible OC. Okay.
But one game, you're gonna base all this excitement. Like, give me a real list, because ultimately, at the end of the day, I love your optimism. I love how happy you are for this success you're about to be having. But I want you to be a little real for a second. I want like people to actually believe what you're saying, because none of us believe what the fuck you're saying. I guarantee a motherfucker listening to this is gonna be like, this dude sounds like he's dreaming.
Drinking that Kool-Aid and smoking that crack.
So listen, you guys can be haters, okay? I'm a believer in my team, okay?
Oh boy.
And so if you guys want to, you can talk your talk. That's fine. That is okay, right? Because we are in the positive corner and we don't shell out that negative stuff towards other teams, because we want to see you guys do just as good. We're Steel Positive Mill. Here, say it with me, guys. Steel Positive Mill. Thank you so much for coming to this.
What I will say is he ain't leading you to a Super Bowl, and he ain't leading you to winning the bet with Justin this year. And to be honest, we don't know if he's even going to get a contract extension.
Hey, listen.
Just admit that he might be,
but we want real comments, Alex. I want real stuff. I don't want your fucking optimism right now. I want you to be 100% honest. I want you to just logistically tell me, like a sports analyst would, what the fuck does this mean?
This means that we're going far, boys.
Oh.
I understand. Listen. This is the right time to get hot. This is the first time the Pittsburgh Steelers have ever fired somebody in the middle of a season. I think ever, honestly. They don't fire
not ever.
But
the last time they did it was 1942, and they weren't fully the Steelers. It was during World War II, so them and the Eagles combined as one team to have enough guys, and that was the last time they fired a coach midseason, and I don't even think it was the head coach.
I think this might, like I said, be the first time the Steelers have ever fired anybody. They just kind of say, your contract ran up, we're just not going to re-sign you. They're not even midseason, just ever. So like this, I'm like, yes, I am being a little over positive about like, oh my God, but like the fact that the Steelers finally did something in the modern era that like actually made sense for them to do, because last year, obviously it got like Chris has said, and like you have said, is 9-8 good enough every year to keep Tomlin around, right? And I almost wonder if this is Tomlin, if O'Shaughnessy, the GM, and like the owners are saying the same thing to him. It's like, is 9-8 going to be good enough when we have all these crazy good coaches? These young, good coaches, when you have like a Ben Johnson in the line, that guy, if he wants to go anywhere, he has the picking of whatever he wants. And we'll get to that in the breakdown time. But it's like when you have guys like that, McDaniels, when you have guys like Shanahan, you have these young guys coming out that are actually impacting the game a positive way. The old school Mike Tomlin defense. Yes, it's awesome. But look at the way, Belichick is 3-4 years removed from winning with Brady, and they're already calling for him to be fired. It is a game, like the Pittsburgh Steelers are by far probably the most loyal fan base for that fact. If they do not care if we're going to win it all, they're just happy that we're gritty. We like to watch our Pittsburgh Steelers win. We're going to win just enough to be good enough to keep our hopes high. And as almost is the are those times turning where, now we got rid of our OC midseason. Now we are actually seeing, is Kenny Pickett going to be what Kenny Pickett's going to be? And if you give, I actually kind of like the call of having the quarterback coach call the plays, because it allows Kenny more fluidity and more access right away to the plays and what is happening. And I like that, when you were looking at the game, the quarterback coach was literally, I understand he was with him all year, but this was him calling the plays for him and saying what's working, what's not working, what do we need to do differently? We need to fix this, we need to do that. Not some OC in the box making up plays on his fucking head that you could see from outer space. So it's just
Thank you. This is a legit conversation where we can have words discussed and have a content to actually do. So, because you're right. Okay, this is 100%. You just said it. This is such a good situation for Kenny Pickett to, hey, this is make it or break it for you, buddy. Like your guy, the quarterback coach, guy who's been coaching you for last
I think
2-3 years. Like he's going to help you.
2 years, I think. And so I think he's given one more year. I think this is a null and void year. I think this was we're going to put it on Canada. This is going to be Canada's fault. Kenny Pickett, you got one more year to prove it to yourself.
Scapegoat.
Yeah, he's almost a scapegoat this year. And I think Kenny Pickett's going to get one more year. I think he has maybe 2 more years on his contract. I don't know if off the bat. I think it's 4. I think it was a 4-year contract.
Yeah, and I think because he was in a first round, right?
No, he was.
Then I don't think he has a fifth round option.
He was a first rounder. He
was.
Yeah, he was the 30.
Fuck,
30.
that was a brutal quarterback draft.
Yeah, he was a first rounder.
Then it'll be interesting to see if they pick up his 5th year option after this year.
And so I think, like I said, Kenny Pickett's got one more year to try to prove to this team that he can at least show improvements on the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And like the nice thing is this is a highlight of a game that is more than just the fourth quarter. Like you can see that Kenny Pickett can win a game for you. Yes, he has the most fourth quarter comeback wins in the last 2 years in the NFL. It's like, yes, you can win a game for us, but can you like control and maintain and win the game throughout the entire game instead of having to do these last minute heroic things to win games?
Yeah. And one thing we didn't put in this part, but we just want to recap your AFC North division now. You know, I think you're talking highly of Kenny Pickett after facing a team who's without their starting quarterback, not their starting defense 100%, but you know that defense gets tired, wears down, allows
100%.
them to have those opportunities to do that. But you're looking at your division, you're sitting second place at 7-4, tied with the Browns, and then you got the Ravens leading at 9-3. You guys have some really good divisional wins, 3-1. You've only lost one divisional game, and that was to the Browns.
We're gonna sweep the Bengals.
For sure at this point.
Yep, we're gonna sweep the Ravens. I know that's like a little controversy. I honestly think that I understand it's off of 1 week, and I get it, guys. But I think that everybody in the Steelers is feeling this is a have to win, and if we don't win, we're all going. Like it almost feels like it's like going to be like look at Johnson. He's getting into all kinds of trouble in the locker room of like trying to
thank you for bringing him
up. He's a problem. He's a problem.
I told you I hated it. I did not like him. I think he drops balls. He's a lazy mother effer, and it just showed on the fucking screen. He literally watching that play. You say that's your number one wide receiver?
And you have to apologize about that?
Yeah, and like it's like so it's. Hey, listen. We are known to have really good wide receivers, but we're also known to have problematic wide receivers. We're not. I don't know what that is about them. You know, what do they do? What happens? What that wide receiver coach is doing? But yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to win this division, and I think we have to win a playoff game or two to prove to them that Kenny Pickett is something that, like I said, I think he still gets next year. But even if he doesn't do good the end of this year, I don't think he's given a true next year. I think next year is a year gone the year after. Like this is just, you're going to be our bridge into what we go into. Yeah. Like, and he knows that. And so I think this is his year to prove that he can actually do something with the Steelers. And they did this thing for him to say, it's not your fault. So I'm hoping that we can win the division. I'm hoping that because we have a big win over the Ravens. In Pittsburgh or in Baltimore? Where was it?
That was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was like, I think it was in Pittsburgh. We have a big win over the Ravens. The Ravens look good. It's a divisional game, so I'll never count. Even with the Bengals not having their starting quarterback, it's still a divisional game. Like we could still like drop that. Look at the Lions, Jake.
And you play them at the last game of the season, so it could come if they both team like if Ravens got some hard schedule. They got the Dolphins coming up, and they got the Jaguars who are also on top of the AFC. So these two games could be really pivotal. That last game could be make it or break it for your division title.
Which means like we could have like a fun game that goes in division title, but like not to bring up the Lions and a lot, but like it's like. Packers should not have beat the Lions, but it's just those divisional games of like every single year you meet twice a year, you know each other inside and out. Doesn't matter who's playing, who's not playing. The Browns did it to us the week before. It's like they had some fucking rookie quarterback who had never touched a ball in his life until that week, basically. And like on the NFL team, on the NFL game, not like but just like who, and then he comes into and Pittsburgh and he loses and the defense couldn't get it done. Right. Our offense still was like, but it was a backup quarterback and their defense is really, really good, but they were hurt. So it's not like we were playing a fully healthy Browns defense who's crazy good. Right. And so
who's winning your division?
We are.
All right.
It's either us. Like, I think it's us or the. No, I think it's us or the Ravens, but it comes down to that last game. I honestly believe that. Like, I believe that it's gonna be us or the Ravens if we can continue our stretch, right? Like, if we lose next game, I think we might not even make the playoffs. It really all depends on the next game. Hey, this first game was really, really good. We did really, really great. Can you fall on to the next game?
Depends on you guys playing the Cardinals. Is that what you think? Do you think playing the shit Cardinals team is what's going to determine whether you guys go out or not?
Bro.
Whoa, hey, McJam, you guys are 1-10. Calm down. All right, calm down. All right, Chris, are you not amused over there? You look like you're about to pass out, or you wanted to kill somebody.
I don't want to kill anybody, and I'm not going to pass out. I am a little nauseous hearing Alex act like the Pittsburgh Steelers are going somewhere.
I know.
Don't get me wrong.
Beautiful. I'm just cutting you off because on that beautiful note,
that's fine.
On that beautiful note of what the Pittsburgh positive steel meal is about, we're gonna turn it to a little bit of a little bit of a. You got your bill, you don't have enough to cover it in your bank account, so you have to ask if you can wash dishes in the back. Burnt down diner.
Thanks for painting quite a picture there, Alex. Yeah, not a good week. It was a very frustrating week. Obviously, we weren't here last week, so I didn't get to discuss the crazy comeback on the Bears. And all I can say is I would have gladly lost that game if it meant beating the Packers on Thanksgiving. Ooh. It frustrates me to no end that was the 7th year in a row that we lost on Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure I didn't want to do the math because I already know what it is. I just know I've seen them lose more on Thanksgiving than not. And that's our holiday. Yeah. There is Thanksgiving football because of the Lions. I nearly broke my finger playing Turkey Bowl football Saturday morning or Thursday morning because the Lions started that tradition. Yeah. I wasn't ready for questions, but go on.
Yeah,
Alex.
I know. This is just going back to the Big Ten. An elitist scum talking about the NFL again. The Lions are the only reason that there's ever going to ever be football in the NFL on Thanksgiving. I understand.
I'm just telling you, they started
go through the history right now, and you're going to
they made it a tradition.
Well, in history, Alex, I really hate to be this guy because normally I love when you shit on Chris. But I think it is the truth that Chris is speaking. So that's why he's so frustrated that he can't win. And
this is supposed to be our holiday.
Chris, continue. So
it's not a playoff game.
No,
but it's a very special game.
Okay,
and then
these last 2 games, would you say they're embarrassing games? Even though you won against the Bears, are these 2 hard games that you say, oh, it's a divisional game? Or you say, you know what? We're a little embarrassed by how we played because you have to just mention Jared Goff has been playing like ass these last 2 games. He had like 4 turnovers, I think, against the Bears. He had 3 against the Packers. Like,
the past 2 games he's been
right.
He fumbled it with the Packers too. Past 2 games, he's played his worst 2 games since becoming a Lion, easily. And our defense is, especially the secondary, is just been atrocious. So I would say both, in the sense that yes, they're divisional games, they're wild cards, but I came away feeling embarrassed more so than another great divisional battle. Like, no. They were very frustrating. Both games were very, very frustrating to watch. Yes, it was an exciting finish with the Bears, and seeing Aiden Hutchinson strip sack Fields for a forced safety to end it. That was beautiful, but the rest of the game was extremely frustrating. Same thing with the Packers. And so then it's super frustrating because I look over and I see the Dallas Cowboys. And you could say a lot about the Dallas Cowboys in our lifetime of having really good teams or really bad teams, but really, they've never really been that bad. Like their worst teams have never been that bad. I don't think I've ever seen them have the number 1 overall pick in a draft.
No.
But no matter what, whether they're having a down year for themselves or an up year, I feel like I see them win on Thanksgiving every year. They deliver for their fan base. I know it's not true. I've seen them lose on Thanksgiving, but it just feels like more times than not, they are delivering for their fan base as the other team that always plays on Thanksgiving. And the Lions just can't fucking seem to do that. It doesn't matter. Like this is the best team I've ever seen them have, hands down, even the Megatron days. And they disappoint on Thanksgiving against a horrible team.
You need a red kettle bowl and you need a turkey leg. And you have those 2 things, you'll win, I promise.
But see, you don't get the turkey leg until after the game. You earn that turkey leg.
Yeah. So did they earn it?
It's just frustrating.
Did they earn it?
Hell no, they played horrible against a very bad team.
Does this scare you?
Yes.
Sorry, Alex. I see you have a question.
We're like, what are we, an anti-press conference podcast? Come on.
Fake news, go on.
Thanks so much. So with the effects of Jared Goff having the last 2 weeks, most likely being the cause of the losses. I'm not going to directly put it on him, but it could have been 2 losses.
The defense needs to hold their own in that respect too, but absolutely you can't be turning the ball over.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over. I think he has 5-6 turnovers in the last 2 games. You were lucky to squeeze out the last win 2 weeks ago, and you didn't unfortunately get the chance to do that this week. But going in, does that 6 turnovers in the last 2 games? Going into next week, what do you think Ben Johnson's your offensive coordinator, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are talking about right now? Like, what do you think is going through their heads? Because it's not really on his play call, but also this is the quarterback. So you ride or die with this person performing your plays to the best standard that they can have. And they're not being performed like that.
I think they're probably talking mental game, talking confidence, talking about calming down and just playing ball. Because they've proven how good they can be. I do think part of last game was probably a hangover of self-confidence from the game before. And that really showed. So hopefully they're working it out. This is probably our last year with Ben Johnson. He's probably going to go, like you said, he's easily the hottest head coaching candidate coming out of this year, and he has his pick of the litter. And I don't know if he's going to choose to stay in Detroit one more year to see how things go. Like he's got to take his opportunities eventually, I think there's more appealing jobs open this time.
Yeah, I think you forget about our guy Dan Quinn, but I'll let that one slide.
No, because Dan Quinn ain't going anywhere.
He might.
He wants to be a Cowboy.
He's going to be if he goes anywhere, he's getting promoted to Cowboys head coach.
I hope.
I don't see him actually leaving the Cowboys.
But 3 interceptions against Chicago, and he had 3 fumbles against the Packers. So at least he switched it up and had something different. But does this when I think about Jared Goff and I think about he's been playing really, really good this year, but he has moments of mediocrity. And I feel like this is one of those moments where you start seeing who we sometimes see Jared Goff be. Yeah. Does this make you want to look at a quarterback in a draft class that has pretty stouted quarterbacks? Does this make you consider, we might want to move up to see somebody? I mean, I know you went and got Malik Hooker, 3rd round, but
Hendon Hooker.
Is he one of those
Hendon
guys
Hooker.
that could be your guy? Hendon Hooker. I just did a little mix of 2 black quarterbacks. That was racist. Apologize, guys.
How could you?
How could I? My God. If he was white, I would have known. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have known. Too funny. But anyways, it's the point of it is, does that that's my question, because I'm a Jared Goff hater because he got drafted in the same draft as Dak Prescott. 4th round, 1st round difference. night and day difference.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Jared Goff.
Yeah, I thought that. Hold on, guys. Can we pause real quick?
Sure.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to change filming locations so my wife could go to bed.
My wife could go to bed.
So I believe your
The cow's
question
back.
was, yeah, the cow is back. I believe your question was about Jared Goff and my confidence in him. And before these 2 weeks, I would tell you that we're re-signing him. He's our guy, at least for the next year or two, until we really figure it out, see what we have in Hendon Hooker, or see what we have in future drafts. But he was playing well enough to deserve to be re-signed. How I feel today is not so confident in that. Obviously, there's still a lot of season left to be played. He can definitely turn around and show us that he's worth it. I mean, look at how I was last year when the Lions were 1-6, and I was ready to boot everyone out the door and just close the franchise down.
We're picking a new team.
A secondary team, a distraction team, really.
Man.
And then
I'm the only faithfulness in my team. All you guys at one point have tried to leave your team.
Okay,
I've never
well,
tried
to
to
be
leave the
honest
Steelers.
with you, I never tried to leave the Lions either. I just wanted a secondary team to appreciate. But honestly, as a Lions fan, I've got 1,000,001 reasons to. As a Steelers fan, Alex is kind of a bitch for that because of how much modern success they have had, and he is not satisfied with it because
What
I would
if
trade
I
my
said-
left
I'm not
nut for
trying
2
to.
Super
I'm not trying to
Bowls.
leave. I'm not even trying to leave my
I'm
team.
just
What the
saying-
fuck are you
You
talking about?
did earlier. You did earlier. You did confirm. Like you did say earlier, you were trying to leave your team. But Chris,
When?
I get what you're
When?
saying.
Try
I
to
say
leave
if Jared,
college team.
Chris, Alex, Alexander, hold on, pause. You did say that, guys. McJam,
Yeah.
fact check
Win.
this. Did Alex not
Win.
say he was trying to leave the Steelers when he started his steel mill?
No.
McJam,
We will go back to the tape when this is
Yeah.
over to review.
you don't remember
Um,
McJam? Okay.
You definitely
okay.
made some comment.
Yes.
It may have just been out of emotion and you don't even realize what you were saying.
Yeah, you know
Yeah, I
what?
would
It's
never-
okay. Hey, I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna just let you replay it because that's exactly what it is. But I say if Jared Goff doesn't win you
Not
a,
real.
a playoff game this season, if he doesn't win a playoff game, he's out. He's not your guy.
Agreed.
You're not resigning
Agreed.
him because you can't take him all the way. You can have a couple shitty games that happen sometimes. You get in bad funks, whatever. But you got to be able to turn around. And you got to be able to go into the playoffs and make it count when you're in the team that everybody's talking so highly about the Detroit Lions that if you don't get a fucking win, it's over.
It's bad. Yep.
You know what? But I don't. You got anything left that you would like to share?
The only thing I have left is I hope we finish strong. I think to talk about our division real quick.
Yeah.
That was obviously a divisional game that we lost.
Your
but
division looks like shit.
Luckily, the division looks like absolute shit, and the Chicago Bears beat the Vikings on Monday night.
That Monday night game was probably the worst game I ever
The
fucking
worst
watched.
boring
Chicago
game
Bears
I've ever watched.
Just if they have another primetime game this year, they need to flex it right now.
Why did they
There's
flex
no
the
point.
fucking Bills Eagles? Come on, guys.
Justin Fields, I could see where everybody's not talking highly because he did not look good. He
didn't look good.
He was throwing the ball like sideways and shit, and
He looked great against the Lions.
I just don't. That game was the boringest game, and poor Josh Dobbs. Like we were really hiding that, Josh Dobbs training. I think he made a good comeback at the end to try and win it.
Yeah,
but man,
4 INTs.
that's rough.
Talk about a time where you're trying to make a name for yourself to be like, hey, they were potentially thinking about, hey, this might be our guy.
And then no,
he just threw 4 picks, and some of them were his fault. I would say one for sure, maybe 2 of them were his fault. There was a couple other ones where it hit off the player. Oh, it was tipped. Like he had one where he threw it right at a dude.
Yeah,
it was obvious.
Yeah, that one was real bad.
Yeah, your division is total whack, and if you guys still don't win it,
trash.
I would be surprised.
Is there a way?
Yeah,
that
we
you
should
don't
definitely
win
still
it?
win it. The only way
yeah.
that we don't win it is if we crazy
Lose out?
collapse and the Vikings win out. I don't know if they necessarily need to win out, but basically win out.
Yeah, they need to win. You need to lose.
Yeah. but I don't see that happening. I think the division is a lock. It's now more about, okay, where can we finish seeding wise in the conference? And we got to win that home playoff game.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And never mind. I was going to go down another road, but I can actually touch on that later when we get to Alex's lover, Aaron Rodgers. So that is all that I have in me for the Burnt Down Diner. I would like to go home now, please. So check and give me half your dishes because can't afford this bill according to Alex. But I do have a favor to ask of Alex.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little under the weather. I don't think I can do the Cowboys corner justice this week. Will you please step into my place?
Listen, I'm going to actually hand this one off to McJam. I want to hear
hot potato.
I want to hear a McJam Cowboy. We have never heard one before. We've heard me yell. Also, my kid is right above this ceiling right here, sleeping. So I don't know if he can hear me. And I don't want a text from mom saying, "You're a bitch.
You're not getting
woke up
any
the
tonight."
kid." Oh, I'm getting some. I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to. So,
because you're not going to.
McJam, take it away with the Cowboy corner.
I'm just gonna rip right into it. I think Molly might be taking a nap, but let's get ready for the Cowboys!
So loud he can't even hear it. That's my favorite.
That's the best way to
part.
do it. Whatever you have the Cowboy corner and it can't come through the mic, that's a beautiful Cowboy corner
entrance. And you know what? Coming from the one faithful fan that has never ever tried to disbar his team, to let go.
I don't want to hear.
To sit here and
you're twisting words, friend. You're twisting words.
Yeah, fucking
sit here and just be one of the best franchises as a team. Just sits great, you know. And I think we've been playing great, lights out. We got a couple tough stretches up ahead, which is exciting. Going to be real testy. I'm not going to dig too deep into the yeah. I'm going to dig too deep into the Panthers beatdown. That one is pretty obvious, and if we would have lost that game, would have been more embarrassing. So I'm glad we didn't. We went to what our divisional game is, you know, play against the Commanders on Thanksgiving. Always a great day. It was a great game to watch if you were a Cowboys fan. Boring if you were anybody else. Right. And I think it's so funny because I know it was technically like the third or the fourth highest watched Thanksgiving game ever. The Cowboys sold all of them. BT dubs. Sorry, Chris.
Fuck me.
Dude, think about it. They even wanted to watch the Commanders get smacked more than they wanted to watch the Lions lose the fucking.
Well, to be fair, they
Packers.
don't play at the same time, so it's not like they chose one over the other. It's just one's earlier in the day and one is later in the day.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you other than viewerships, baby. But
Whatever.
Don't you guys love it? Easy win. Good job on our offensive scheme. We did great with our offense looked good. Our defense looked good. It's hard to talk bad right now about the Cowboys. So we got a lot of cool things. Really, I just want to talk about history and getting to watch Deron Bland, you know, 5th pick 6 of the season. You know, easily just crazy to think about. You know, when you think 5, like it doesn't seem that much with how many games we play, but to see how many he has more than other players, let alone he has more touchdowns than some really top end wide receivers, it's crazy. And this dude was our backup. He wasn't even the fucking starter to start the year. He took over Trayvon Diggs' spot, because we had Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs, and he was the backup. Now our backup is just as good as Trayvon Diggs. If not, it could potentially be better. Like, it's cool because he's getting a lot of recognition for Defensive Player of the Year to be that guy, and well deservingly. But we have 2 people on defense that could be Defensive Player of the Year. We got Deron Bland and Michael Parsons. So it just tells you how scary our team is, competitive, and our defensive team is just fucking disgustingly good. So that's really, really exciting. And I mean, you guys, honestly, I'm more open for questions because, dude, it's just been beatdowns the last couple of weeks. So we don't really have that much going on. What's up, dude? Let's go Chris, because he looks more.
I had my hand up first, teacher.
It's not
So
always about that.
Dak. Looking
What's up?
good.
Looking super
Looking real good.
Looks so
Like
good. Everybody's
actually
talking about it.
playing top-notch ball.
Yeah.
top
You
notch.
see Aaron Rodgers give him a compliment? It's
Fuck
the
that
most
guy.
fun quarterback
Oh,
he's
think I give a
watched
shit
this
about him?
year. Yeah.
Oh, I did. I saw
Analysts
it. It
are
was
telling him good things
beautiful.
about it too. Analysts are saying, "Oh wait, they're writing." Dak was getting hated on all beginning of the season. I would even say up to
Yep.
week 6, he was getting hated on, and all of a sudden, it's different.
Right.
Why is it different? Why is it so quiet? Why is everybody loving Dak? What happened? What changed? This is the man we know. He just needed
So, follow up. Are you guys winning the division?
no.
You still think Eagles?
At this point,
They keep
yes.
fucking winning, dude. It's annoying.
Dude. It's like I think we are gonna get a win on them, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think when they come to AT&T Stadium, we're gonna beat them. Like
Okay.
we are beating them. You cannot. And you come in AT&T where we played our best games. We haven't trailed at all at home. The Eagles are going to be a good team. Don't get me wrong; it's going to be a really, really good game. But they can't beat every game. But they're going to win a lot of games. They're so fucking clutch.
Yeah.
Watching them play the Bills, it was like the Bills look so in charge of that game. They look like they were going to win it, yet somehow, some way,
That was
they
unbelievable.
find a fucking way to win. And I just credit Jalen Hurts and I credit that team because if you can get past the Eagles, you deserve to be in the Super Bowl. If you can beat the Eagles, you deserve to be in the Super Bowl. This team looks
Who's the team that beat them this year?
They lost to somebody random.
It was
who the fuck
random.
did they lose to?
Oh, it was the Browns.
No,
Was
it
it
was the
not?
Jets.
It was the Jets. Sorry,
The
it was the
Jets.
Browns who got the crazy win on the 49ers. Yeah.
When
right,
did
it
the
was
Browns?
Jets.
When did the
Jets.
Jets beat them? Like the beginning of the season.
They beat them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week 6 against, and they won.
I think literally the same week that the Browns beat the 49ers.
It was because they were both
But-
undefeated.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. The thing about the Eagles, if you can stop their offense, you can win. And that's what they did. And that's why the Jets won. And
Harder
every
said than
time
done.
the Eagles are in bad positions, it's because their offense are like crap. Like I think a couple weeks ago they played, their offense wasn't looking good. They had no. I remember Peyton Manning was making fun of them. It was against the Chiefs, I think. Actually, they were making fun of him for not getting anywhere, for not doing anything, and they still somehow managed to like win the game. It was the opposite of what I felt the Super Bowl was the year before, right? Where we thought the Eagles had this game in the bag, and somehow the Chiefs came out with it. It was the opposite. I thought the Chiefs had this one in the bag, and they just gave it away. It's that we both have such tough games moving forward that there's no way that the Eagles have to prove they can win it. They have a really good game this week. They have to play against the 49ers. It is a healthy 49er team. When they played them the last time, it wasn't the same game. So it's going to be really competitive. But then they play the Seahawks. That's it. They don't play anybody else good, but they just play the Bills. We play the Dolphins, we play the Bills, and we play the Eagles. So we can get some good wins against these teams. Giants just got to fuck up a couple times, and we got to win. So, but I don't see them fucking up. I don't see us winning this division. I think we are
Would they have to,
number one wild card.
Would they have to lose out for you guys to win the division?
No,
it's closer than that.
We're 8-3, and they're 10-1. So they would have to lose 2 games, and we tie. And if we can beat them, then we would. It would
go to record of similar opponents. So then their divisional record and their non-conference or their non-divisional,
and they would beat us. It depends because if we beat these Bills,
to solidify,
we beat the Dolphins. I think that'll help
to
us.
solidify the division. They have to lose out. So like, if you want to be.
I don't think they have to lose out. They have to lose 3 games at least, and we have to win all of ours. But like ultimately, I don't even think like that's not even going to happen. Even if it came down to like had the same record, they would still get in because the teams that we lost to, we lost pretty bad to the 49ers.
But did they play the 49ers?
Yes, they play them this week.
They play them this week.
Oh shit! Oh, that's going to be good. And then that will be a determining factor.
Yeah.
But you know what the craziest thing about that Bills Eagles game is? The NFL changed the overtime rules after Josh Allen lost in that playoff game in 13 seconds. Since then, Josh Allen is 0-5 in overtime.
Yeah.
He still can't win when it goes to
What's it called?
The best thing about this isn't the Eagles corner, so let's bring it back to the Cowboys. What do you
Yeah.
say? I know we're talking division.
We're talking division.
What's up, Alex? You had a question.
I had a question. This guy, Bland,
This
right?
guy.
Bland. I don't
Bland,
really know.
yeah. You
Yeah.
know his name. Good job.
I just looked at the thing. Honestly though, sick way to break history. It wasn't an easy in the touchdown. It was like you had to fight to get that touchdown. Pretty sick. Like, how crazy is it that you went from Trayvon Diggs 2 years ago, who was like a year ago, who's like a shutdown corner, nothing could get thrown on him. So now you got this guy, and now when Trayvon comes back,
Do you want to know the history of this guy?
what's up?
Deron Bland was like not highly recruited. He went, I think it was like San Jose State to play wide
Hell
receiver.
yeah.
He was a wide receiver. Forgo his senior year, COVID, he didn't play. He transferred to Fresno State and played quarterback. Only had 2 interceptions, played a handful of games. Then he was drafted, I think, in like the 6th round for us. Now look at him. That's crazy. That's just crazy. And one thing I was going to tell you, I
Good
don't know
for
if you
him.
guys see this. So this
Yeah.
is something I see being a Cowboys fan coming a lot through my stuff. Is our
Mhm.
2022 class draft is fucking nuts. So first off, Tyler Smith was our number 1 pick last year. He was our offensive line. He's touted to be one of the best up-and-coming interior offensive linemen in football as a guard. Then we have Sam Williams, who's on the defense, who you guys probably have heard his names if you watched into the games, but he is super productive. He plays a lot. They want Micah to drop back to middle linebacker and put him at DN next to DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, that's how good he is. Jalen Tolbert was a wide receiver. You guys probably seen his name a couple different times. Not crazy, but he's a productive 4-3 wide receiver. Then we have Deron Bland, and then this other guy named Damone Clark, who's our starting linebacker right now with all the injuries that we've had. So it's just crazy to see that whole class has been just fucking insane for us this year.
That's really good. That's good for your future.
Good for them.
Sure. 100%. And then we have Tank Bell, who I'm really impressed with, made a transition from safety to linebacker, and he's considered as statistical as one of the best linebackers right now in the league.
Small,
and he's
but
not
he's
even
good.
big, dude. He's not big at all, but he plays like he's fucking
Plays
big.
hard.
He runs hard, and I just love that. And I love Dak getting all the praise. I love us looking like a good team. I just think it's just you got to at this point. It's not like I'm going to carry away the division, so there is some doubt in some sense, because ultimately we're going to have a harder path to go to the Super Bowl than the Eagles are going to have. Just looks like the way the cookie's going to crumble.
For sure.
And the one thing that at the end of the season, you guys don't understand this, or you should understand this, is as a Cowboys fan, they always make us want to cry. And they're always going to find a way to shoot us in the foot. So the big the big question mark for me is playoff win. I want to get in the playoff. I want to win. I want to win games. I want to win these big seasons. Like we should have beat the 49ers last year. We could have played a lot better. We could have done a lot of things. They had better opportunity. But this year we have to go through either them, the Eagles, the Lions. I am more excited to play the Lions later on because I think it will give good playoff implications.
That'll be a fun game.
Will be an absolutely fun game if Jared Goff doesn't keep shit in the bed.
Yeah, he better get his shit together by then.
Also, there is a scenario where they play each other in 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
whatever.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And there's also a scenario that they play each other in the first round of the playoffs.
The
Yeah.
Eagles and the Cowboys.
Yeah, Eagles, Cowboys, right? Because I don't know who's the fourth.
They'll get a bye. They'll absolutely get a bye.
True.
We'll get a wild
True.
card play, and then we'll have to play them as their first round. But like it'll be our second game in the playoffs because we would have to play them first round. Their first round, technically the first round of the playoffs, because I don't think they consider wild card a part of the playoff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is. Wild card
It
is
is?
part of the playoff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, it's just us and the Eagles in our division. Like you can look at the Commanders and the Giants. This division last year was pretty competitive. A lot of teams. They thought all 4 teams were about to make it in at one point. And
good for
this is
Sam
not the
Howell
year.
though. Good for Sam Howell. He looks like
Oh,
he
he
could
looked
be
like
a guy
shit.
over there.
Yeah, he looked like shit last game.
Okay, listen. He could be a guy at least over there though.
We'll see. Yeah, that's like saying DeVito's about to be the guy too. Yeah,
DeVito is the guy. Hey,
yeah,
someone-
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You got to win games in order to get there. And so you guys don't have any questions. It's so nice to be a Cowboys fan because we're all winning. You guys know it. We're sitting at the same record as the Lions. And I would tell you we're better than the Lions normally. Chris, I know that's going to be a hard
Right
one
now,
for you to
you
swallow,
definitely
but
have
like
the
yeah,
Lions.
100%. Our team's
We're
getting
gonna
hot when
find
we
that
need-
out anyway
Yep.
later this month. This
Our
coming
team's
month.
getting hot when we needed them to be, and we have some really tough games coming in. And this is like it's going to be very, very exciting or very, very depressing. So these next couple weeks, so I'm going to stay optimistic here. I'm going to wait to get some sadness, but I would love, love to hear from one of our saddest members of this podcast. And I think it's time to spread his wings and hopefully maybe take a leap of faith and see if he can fly and talk about these sad little bird nest, this
Bird
Cardinals
nest.
team. McJam, God bless.
I don't even know how
Thought
you'd
Kyler would help.
Yeah, thank you for the intro there. Not good, not a lot to say. I think someone mentioned, I think it was Justin, that we had one win. We actually have 2 wins.
You have 2 wins. Kyler has a win. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
And yeah, I mean, looking at the rest of the season, I think it's possible we squeak out 3 more wins. I know that would hurt our draft prospects, but we're probably beating the Steelers.
Okay, no, you're
The
not.
The Bears is a wrap, and then the Seahawks, I think we can take them too.
Oh, do you realize how painful an episode of this pod is going to be when the Cardinals beat the Steelers? That's going to be amazing for all of us except Alex.
And Alex talked all this bullshit this week that I would love if the Cardinals win to take all that, mush it up.
And I will
McJam.
Wait for the fucking Steelers to absolutely wreck the Cardinals and not have a losing record this season against the Cardinals.
Well, I'm really worried about Kyler playing against the Steelers because your defense is really, really solid. And like you're just coming fresh off your injury. You know, this is your 3rd game now. I know you got to play it anyways, but like, does that make you a little nervous?
I mean, not really.
Tell him to be a grown man and go out there and play football.
Yeah. You got to get the rust off at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But my question is, do you actually want to win those games?
Yeah, I mean, I understand why people would say no, but yes, me personally, I want to win some. Just looking better, like for the future of next year, I'd like to go in winning a little bit in the end of the season here.
And you're a Kyler supporter, right? You want to see him on the team next year?
100%.
Then I guess for you, it doesn't matter if they win those games because the top picks are going to eat those quarterbacks up, and the guys that you really need will be there anyway.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr., bro. I'm telling you, they're taking him.
I don't know. I can see the Bears being stupid enough to take him. Like they're Marvin Harrison. You need a line. If you can't protect your quarterback, you need a line.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we can just talk a little bit about the AFC West, I think, here too, because that's a division easily was once at one point easily ran by the 49ers, but the Seahawks and the 49ers are like neck and neck for this mother effer, you know. Kind of, not really. 8-3 and 6-5. It looks like the Seahawks have dropped the last 2 games, which is
they're falling apart. Yeah.
Poor Gino, man. I was really I'm excited for him, you know, and I think he had a really good start, but you know,
it's not over.
That game they played against the 49ers last week was kind of trash. That Thanksgiving game, it was the 49ers, single-handedly took them out pretty good. But I think, like, ultimately, they just, like, you don't hear anything about their star players. Like, I haven't heard much about Kenneth Walker. I don't hear much about DK besides he's trying to sign language to talk shit. Tyler Lockett's not there. Bobby Wagner really hasn't done much. Jamal Adams hasn't, like, their cornerbacks last year, Tariq Woolen? Wasn't he, like, a beast? Where is he at this year? He's been silent. Quiet as a ghost.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, quiet as a ghost.
Yeah.
I thought you said white as a ghost. I'm like, what's wrong with being white as a ghost?
No, I wouldn't say that about them. Just you.
Well, boys, we talked about our divisions. Let's get into other divisions in the NFL.
Are you done with the AFC West?
Yeah, the 49ers are taking it.
Well, there's not any other good takes. Like the fucking Rams are looking good after getting Kyron Williams back. Who knew all you needed was a fucking running back to be a competitive team? They get Kyron Williams back. That dude scores like 2 touchdowns and has over 100 yards after this supposedly knee injury, right? Knee or ankle. I don't fucking remember what it was. You're trying to run so fast through this, Alex.
Yeah.
But like ultimately.
Listen, who cares about the NFC West? at this
What
point.
do you care about, Alex?
He just cares about the AFC, bro, because that's all he is. But the problem is,
best,
Alex, you're the
best
minority
conference.
here. Excuse me, sir. You're the minority in this podcast.
It's a triple
you shut your
NFC.
fuck up and you listen to this NFC West update.
I don't care about them. The Rams,
I don't care.
Fucking suck.
They're 5-6. They technically still have a chance to make the playoffs. They're not that much worse than you.
The
Actually, we'll find out here very soon.
If the Cardinals, okay, I hope the Cardinals beat you. So then you could come back next week and just eat these words. And I'm actually, when we do the prediction, I'm vote for the Cardinals. I don't give a shit.
I hope.
Wait, is that actually who they played this week?
Yes,
this
that's
week.
who they played this week.
Dude, and I already told you set yourself up to just eat it. Like you totally jinxed your team.
He's starting to smile. He's starting to get hot.
Boys, the reason that I don't care about this division is because the 49ers are absolutely taking it. The Seahawks might sneak in. The Rams are looking pretty trash still, even with their running back coming back.
No, they didn't look trash last week. Did you watch the game? Did you see anything about the game?
Yes,
I saw. Good.
Yes, I understand. It's one fucking game.
What?
No, I thought you boys were going to say something. It was just a joke, and I thought.
All right, then.
But
hold on, let's move on to the AFC West.
Not even. I don't even need to move on to the AFC West. Just like the NFC.
What do you want to recap the AFC North again?
No, the AFC South.
No, we're not. Okay, go in order.
You really want to go to
order.
the AFC South?
From my bad.
There's an order.
I didn't see that. I was going to mess it up. I told you I was going to mess it up.
I knew
AFC.
That's
AFC
the boringest
West.
division to fucking talk about right now. Like, yeah, there's some hype stuff, but they suck dick. The AFC West is at least more fun and literally in order of what it is. The Chiefs are leading it. The Broncos are somehow second. The Raiders are third.
The Broncos are on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, how?
Good for them.
Not an impressive.
Are you a Russell Wilson believer? I have been. Are you?
Chiefs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. What the fuck are you talking about?
The fuck you
to me, the Bills was crazier than the Chiefs because, divisional game. Anything can happen. But the Bills was crazy.
Yeah, the
Raiders
suck. The Chargers don't know how they haven't fired Staley yet. That guy,
I don't get that. If they lose this weekend, if they lose this weekend and he doesn't get fired, then he's staying the entire season.
Yeah, I have no faith that they're firing him, bro. He has immunity over there.
Crazy.
If they lose the Patriots, they will get fired. Like if he loses,
that's what I think.
It's the end of it. But like,
pretty true.
It's insane how he has it. Like, I think it was crazy to see the statistic. Like they're 50-50 on games. They're 50-50 in point differential. Like they have the same amount of points that they have for them than against them. He's just done nothing since being a head coach. What, for 3 years? This is his third year,
at least.
And all you did was got Kellen Moore, and that helped your offense a little bit because they still scored points. But at the end of the day, your defense isn't stopping anybody. There's no game strategy for you to win because you're just throwing up points and hoping.
Is he an offensive coach or is he a defensive coach?
I don't know.
He's a defensive coach. He's a defensive coach.
Your defense is trash.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why people hate him. That's why people hate him. Yep.
At least Tomlin's a defensive coach, and our defense is always good. It's like, what the fuck? I understand our offense is a little shaky at times, but he's not a defensive coach.
When you're sitting here and looking at playoff contention, technically the Broncos in this too are sitting at 9th place at 6-5.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy.
It just took them a little time. It's not
like they're the Lions of last year.
Yeah, it's not that crazy to see Russell Wilson and fucking Sean Payton win game. Those are two.
No, here's the difference. Last year, the Lions went 1-6, but all of those games were very tight games where they blew it.
The Broncos
they didn't get 70 put up on them.
Yeah. But I think they needed some time to figure it out, and I think this is now time has shown a little bit more. And I'm happy, dude. I think it's great for Russell to start winning some games. I think it's great for the Broncos organization.
The Bronx.
At the end of the day, the Broncos if they're winning, it makes football better. I feel right. There's a huge fan base for the Denver Broncos, I do think, and especially in that division where you want to see them beat the Chiefs, you want to see them beat the Raiders.
You don't want the Chiefs to fucking be good.
No, I don't want the Chiefs to win, and I don't want the fucking Raiders to win because I think their fans are worse than most fans. So
I honestly hope that the Chargers would do something, but they don't.
No, dude. The Chargers are the team I would root for in that division, but it's so sad to like Jay Herbert is just being wasted.
Yep.
He's literally being wasted. And Keenan Allen
send him to the Lions.
Old. Dude, that'd be a blockbuster
Jay Herbert?
trade. That'd be so nice.
Send him to the Lions. See what happens.
There would have to be so much exchanged for that.
I would be glazing all over this podcast if that happened.
Well, it wouldn't have to be that much exchange. He's a free agent in 2 years. I'm not saying.
I thought he resigned. Yeah.
He
just got paid.
He just got
paid.
Yeah, he just got paid.
Because everyone's talking about how all these quarterbacks are sucking after getting their bag. Burrow didn't look good for the longest time.
No,
Herbert.
He's been struggling with injuries to start.
The only one that's looking pretty decent is Lamar.
Yeah. Who had to put up the biggest fight to get his money.
Yeah,
exactly.
Kind of crazy.
But this division is still going to the Chiefs. You guys can't say it's not.
No, it's so going to the Chiefs.
For sure.
It feels like the Patriots are fucking. It's the AFC East all over again. The Patriots just fucking won that division. No matter, and their division sucked. Like they didn't have very good teams that they were playing. At least the Broncos are somewhat good, but they're not playing very good teams. They haven't played very good teams in a while.
Well, me and Chris were actually talking about how we thought the NFC was better than the AFC, and then we were proved that the AFC has more winning records than the NFC does. But I really just credit that to this next division we're going to talk about, the NFC South. The NFC South is trash. How is every team in the
NFC South
losing record, bad, and yet someone's going to make the playoffs? This reminds me of the NFC East when the Cowboys used to go 8-8 and could win the division.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
I remember
this is one
days.
of those where you're like, oh my god.
Well, it's like the Falcons have a losing record. Their head coach doesn't use their star players, and the fan base for the past few weeks have been calling for his firing.
Yeah,
and they're going to win the division.
Like, I understand, like, they're going to win the division. They don't use, like, Kyle Pitts was a wild move.
Yeah.
Drake London, this week they actually kind of looked good. They looked
Desmond Ridder looked so good.
They look like the Falcons that they should have been. Like, isn't Artie Smith an offensive guy too? Like, he seems like he's an offensive guy.
It's the sense of like where he took him out. You took him out to let what's his bucket have a chance. Then you put him back in. Then you take out Bijan, or you don't disclose that he's sick. Like, to me, that's just weird. Like, you're doing fishy and shady things, and I don't want you a part of that. Like,
go back to FedEx.
Yeah, is that where he was? At Washington?
His dad started FedEx.
Oh, so
his dad's like a billionaire.
Money, yeah.
Okay, that's dumb.
Maybe Daddy
the
gave
Saints
him this.
Are way worse than they should be.
Dude, Derek Carr is exactly who the Raiders thought he was. That's why they got rid of him.
That's how they got rid of him. The Bucks are surprisingly good. Like, they're not great, but they're
just inconsistent. They're a good team.
They're surprisingly good. And then the Panthers are, I don't know, dude. They can't keep a head coach to save their life over there.
Well, first of all, that was a bad hiring to begin with.
Horrible
the man
hiring,
just got fired mid-season, and you're going to hire him right away. Like, to be honest with you, the last time he had success was on the Eagles with Carson Wentz, where he was the QB coach?
Maybe.
And he was an offensive coordinator.
Well, he might as well have been the QB coach, because we all know at that era, Doug Peterson was the one calling plays.
Yeah.
So he gets a head coaching job off that, falls on his face with Carson Wentz again, and 2 or 3 other quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and
Phil
then
Rivers.
Gets fired mid-season, and you hire him right away. Now, I understand who they really wanted rejected them in Brad Johnson.
Oh.
But still, weird coaching hire. Now you fire another coach mid-season, so it's like, well, you're setting the precedent that you're not going to give guys very long.
I think this is they need. It almost felt like he was the interim coach. I understand he was the head coach, but it almost felt like even with his hire, he was the interim coach. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, they just fired their head coach last season. They fired their head coach midseason this season. I think this next person has to be like an actual hire if they want to do anything with Bryce Young. Sure, whatever he is, whatever. But like, if they want to prove why Bryce Young was the first round pick, they need to have a coach come in, sit with him, and be with him for 2 or 3 years to actually make proof of that.
Well, I got a couple
Belichick
things
is
for you
rumored
real quick.
for
So
them.
first
I
off,
heard that.
Matt Rule was an obvious fire candidate. That whole shit show of what he did with the Panthers was insane. And
Yeah,
I
it
think
wasn't
the
great.
Panthers
He's a
tried to
college
do
guy.
I think the Panthers have tried to do a lot to add talent, and that's why he got fired, right? Like 11 games, we say, is that enough time? Well, you traded your number one. You got Adam Thielen. You went and got Miles Sanders, who you thought would be your star running back. You got a number one quarterback in Bryce Young. There is now talk that that the head coach and the quarterback coach, which is Josh McCown, wanted Bryce Young, wanted CJ Stroud, but ended up getting Bryce Young because of a GM move or an ownership move.
I think that's ownership right there.
Which is like, is that true? Is it just me you making excuses for being shitty? And at the end of the day, like, there's so much. There's a lot that has to get reworked over there to make it make sense.
I didn't know that they had rumors of they wanted to. If I was in that position,
It's recent.
Fucking fire me, dude. Like you
it's
didn't
not
give me the person I wanted, anyways.
It's not that recent considering when they did the visits, like where they came to do team workouts. Josh McCown could be seen on camera basically telling CJ something about when you move here, something. I don't know. He was recommending something about after he moves there. So like originally, so that's why they had hype around him at first, but then obviously Bryce Young started trending and then they went that way. So yeah, I do definitely believe that they thought they were getting Bryce Young.
Can you imagine that
they were
team
getting
with
CJ?
I don't know if he'd be as good, but maybe it's just perfect storm.
Yeah, it's a different situation.
The Panthers are still good. They still have a good defense and they have weapons. They just don't use them. Like, you still have Brian Burns over there, who's a fucking man.
Crazy. I wanted him.
Yeah, Adam Thielen still showing productive numbers. JC Horn is a second year, right? And then
they got
wouldn't
DJ
say Miles
Chalk.
Sanders is horrible, but he's not the best. But like, you could do
Shark.
something. Be better. You did say Chalk. Just be something better. But essentially, at the end of the day, it just sounds like a lot of miscommunication that's going to hurt them for years to come. Like, it's sad to say, like, oh, dude, we watched a really good Panthers team and Cam Newton was on them, right? And they're competitive for a couple of years, and now they're
trash.
Nothing for a little bit.
Going to a quite interesting division. Didn't think it was going to be this interesting this far into the season. The AFC South: Jaguars, Colts, Texans, Titans. Obviously, the Titans are the Titans. They're going to be out. They're out. I don't know if they're out statistically, but they're out. They're out of the playoffs. They're not going to win. But the Colts, Texans, Jaguars race is kind of crazy. Didn't really expect the Colts to be up there. Didn't expect the Texans to be up there.
Yeah, but I'm actually
especially after they lost.
I'm going to go for the Texans.
You think the Texans can?
Yeah,
they're 1 and 2 in divisional games. That's where I don't think they would.
And that is rough.
The Colts are 2 and 2, and the Jags are 4-1. The Jags are going to win in this division. If they don't, it's embarrassing for the Jags. We just talked about Doug Peterson literally this last segment. Like, he's the guy. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. This is going to be the team that has to win out. Right?
This is a supposedly generational quarterback.
Yep. So like they'll win out. I think they'll get there and they'll win the division. I think the Texans may squeeze in over the Colts. I just don't think the Colts ultimately have the longevity to get themselves into the playoffs. I think like Minshew's playing great, but I mean, they barely looked okay against the Bucks. They won that game, but like they almost lost the game too at the same time. Where the Texans are at least a little bit more consistent. The game they lost last week, I can't remember who they lost to, but watching it was a good game. Like it didn't look as bad. Oh, they lost to the Jags 24-21 last game.
So it was a good game. It was a good game.
But with those losses in the division, probably doesn't make you ain't gonna lead the division.
Nope. I think Jaguars still take it. I think they actually. Hopefully they do something. I like Doug Peterson. I like Trevor Lawrence. Like I like their team. I like ETN. Like their team's fun. They're just kind of an inconsistent good team, and the opposite way the Bills are. Like they do show up, they just don't always win all the time. And you're like, what's going on here?
You want to know some controversy in this division? Is they have Bill Belichick out, Vrabel in for the Patriots organization? Is what they think.
I've heard that too.
Which would be interesting.
And the Titans?
Yeah, him leaving the Titans for the Patriots.
To go to the Patriots because that's where he played.
That's a rumor.
That's crazy. The Titans are
he's been a
trash.
great.
Why the fuck would you take?
No, Vrabel has been a great coach. The reason the Titans have sucked is because they chose to get Ryan Tannehill as their starting quarterback.
I understand
they
that.
have not
got rid of AJ
Brown for
dumb
nothing.
Move. For Bayard for nothing. Like that was some dumb.
At the end of the day, if
that's a new GM doing that.
Fuck the the Titans. It's been the ownership. It's been the GM. It's been not Vrabel.
Yeah, I guess
I'll put them in position to win games. They beat some good teams. They beat. And remember they beat the Patriots in the playoffs.
They were good for a couple years there, where they should not have been good. I guess
you're Tom Brady with Ryan Tannehill.
It's a fucking man right there.
I don't know how you do that.
And talking about the division that Tom Brady used to be in, what a wild division this turned out to be.
It's not as good as what I thought it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Dolphins are good against bad teams. The Bills don't know who's going to show up every week. The Jets, they put all faith into
Aaron Rodgers.
Zach Wilson, and then said, you know what? Actually, we're going to take it back and put it into Boyle. And then the Patriots
should have
they might have the worst record this season.
They have the worst team in football.
Yeah.
They're not great.
No.
They are not great. And so when you look at this division, it's like this is a weird division. I don't even know what to say about like the Dolphins. Unfortunately, Phillips has been having a season, Achilles. That was sad.
Yeah, that was sad. But speaking of Achilles and Aaron Rodgers, I'm kind of calling bullshit on that.
No way, bro.
Yeah. I'm not saying
you were.
It just feels like a work. It feels like pro wrestling, you know.
It wouldn't have been this serious. That's what I kind of agree with Chris, because this, like, first off, 79 days. Break that down. Yeah. That's a little over. That's 11 weeks, some odd days since he tore his Achilles.
And
did you watch that little thing I sent you? Just his movement, what he's doing. No, there's no way.
He looks normal.
Dude, he was supposedly tore his Achilles. Like that's
one of the worst injuries as an athlete.
Hear me out. Why would they do that?
I think what happened is that they thought it was that through MRIs and through this, but once they got in to do like some of the repairs, it maybe wasn't as bad as what they initially thought. So they could have done different things rather than like a whole complete, I don't even know what they ended up doing.
Can you partially tear an Achilles?
I don't believe so.
The thing is, he has surgery, whatever, right?
But it's surgery like 24 hours after his fucking thing.
What like comes out? Can you partially tear, McJam?
Yeah,
you can. You can partially tear.
I'm
guessing it's a micro tear.
You have to have surgery to get back to like a full recovery.
What's the statistical recovery time period for an Achilles tear? Like even just an average, like you look even at Kobe Bryant's when he.
I understand what you guys are saying. I get it. I understand what you're saying. The thing I'm saying is, what would be the benefit of not playing this season?
PR.
Like, no, I get that, but he's not a big.
No, he's actually.
Oh no! I'm not saying he's not hurt. I'm saying
it's not as serious.
The report of his Achilles being torn and this big thing, I think it's being blown out of proportion. I believe he's hurt. I believe he was rehabbing and recovering from an injury. I just think that injury was maybe more of an ankle injury, or maybe it was something with his Achilles, but it wasn't a fucking tear. Because put this in perspective.
Wait, come on, McJam. What's the statistical time period for a recovery for an Achilles?
So according to medlineplus.gov, it says anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to as long as 6 weeks after injury for no immobilization completely. And then usually 6 to 9 months before you return to all activity, such as running or jumping.
9 months. And if you say 10 months, if we statistically just say there's 3 to 4 weeks in a month, dude.
It just doesn't make
even
sense.
At 5 months. He's not even at 5
Listen,
months. He's
you
not even
guys,
at 4.
You guys believe
So he's 40, 41, right?
he's 40.
He's
39.
He's 40.
He's 39.
He's not 39. I believe he's in his 40s now.
He turns 40 this year. So
Okay.
he's not
All right.
40. He's not.
When's his birthday? Alex?
His birthday is November like 27th or 8th.
Oh, so he is 40.
So he's 40.
So no, when's his birthday?
Big Jam.
Yesterday
how
yesterday was the 28th.
December 2nd. So he's
December
39
2nd.
right now.
Okay. He's 39.
Okay.
So
But okay, we're splitting hairs here. We're talking as far as a few months goes. He's a 40-year-old man.
almost.
Let's be honest.
Almost.
He
goes up 40 when he tore it.
Tears his Achilles, one of the worst injuries you can have, especially as an athlete. He is back. He is now practicing, not even a full 3 months removed from the injury, because that happened on September 11th. So October, November. Yeah, we're not even to 3 months. When I was 25, I broke my foot, and that was my recovery time with a broken bone. Okay, from being able to start running and whatnot. And it didn't feel great when I first started running either. So the fact that he's playing football and shit, you got to imagine he's feeling pretty good after running around. He's not like crazy hurting right after running around. Also, a 25-year-old man right now, maybe he's 26 by now, Hendon Hooker, who tore his ACL, which I would say is just as catastrophic. But honestly, Achilles might actually be worse than an ACL tear. Happened over a year ago. The man just now had his first NFL practice today.
Yeah, I don't understand how Kyler got back so soon.
Again, and so
Aaron Rodgers, you're saying Kyler Murray, you don't understand that you got back, but you're saying you don't understand how Aaron Rodgers made it back.
Hold on. And then the thing is, I've never had an Achilles tear. I've had an ACL tear, and I've had ACL surgery. I don't understand how people
but essentially it's super like the same.
I don't really know. I don't know too much about the thing is, I don't know too much about the Achilles. What I will say is I know that the ACL, like the full NFL game is based on an ACL. Like I understand it's like the full NFL game is literally we're going to cut, we're going to move, we're going to like move side to side. That is what the NFL game is about. And I don't understand. I don't know. I'm going to say this right now. I don't know what the Achilles is.
Thank you, McJam.
So I don't know what the Achilles does. I honestly, it probably does similar
what
things.
It does?
Are you kidding me? Move your foot around right now.
That's what your Achilles.
If you tore your Achilles, you wouldn't be able to do that.
So what I'm saying,
it would hurt
tickling
to
your
even
fucking
flex
toes,
your
putting your
foot.
sock on.
Okay, guys, you guys can think what you want to think.
There's a reason why there's the phrase, "Oh yeah, that is his Achilles heel, his downfall, his like."
What I will say is, I think
that's actually a reference to an old Greek mythology book, not because it's the weakest, but you're close.
But okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's not because
never claimed to be the smartest one on this podcast.
Hey, Alex, I'm just gonna stop you here because I think
I want to say this.
No. I want to say. Hold on. I don't think there's anything else for you to say because at the end of the day, you're just. I'm not listening to you.
Hold on.
I will mute you, Mr. Alex.
What I think is Chris is.
Anyways, what we're going to do here is go into the NBA because at the end of the day,
what I think is Chris is correct in the fact of.
Okay, Alex, we'll end it with this. Kirk Cousins also apparently tore his Achilles and had surgery by the same surgeon. So let's just track his recovery. Let's just see when he takes back the field, and then we'll make our judgments. Okay, let's get to the NBA, Justin.
Oh my God, there's so many good stuff going on right now. So actually, I don't really know much about the NBA, but I know, Alex, I unmuted you this time because now you can come in. The biggest thing that we've been following along this year with the NBA has been this in-season tournament. Yeah.
I thought we were going to say James Harden.
It's set. It's final. It's set. There's people in the quarterfinals. These are the teams that had made it. On your west side, you have
the meaningless tournament.
All right. You guys want me to go from bottom top or top bottom?
Yes.
Okay, bottom top. Let's go.
I like being on the bottom.
Made it in at number 4 on the west. The number 3, your New Orleans Pelicans.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Interesting, right? Then you have the Kings at number 2, and can you guess the number 1?
I'm gonna go with.
Is it the Warriors or did they get eliminated?
Eliminated.
I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Eliminated.
No, it's not the Clippers.
The Lakers.
Is it the
It's
Lakers?
The Lakers. It's
wow.
The Lakers.
Of
but
course.
It's obviously it's just because the difference about in-season tournament, right? You guys got
Tuesday and Friday.
Tuesdays and Fridays. They just have to win those games. It doesn't mean that they're the best team in basketball. They're just winning games on certain days and doing it, whatever. But they made it out of their group. Then on the West, at number 4, you have the Knicks. At number 3, you have the Celtics. Then number 2, you have the Pacers, and then you want to guess your number 1. This one's
Raptors.
Huh?
Bucks.
Yeah, not Raptors. The Bucks, the Miami Bucks. The Heat almost got in, but no, didn't make it.
Well, like you said, like this is like in season terms. So I was going off of like maybe this is like a fun, like I don't know, random team that just made it in out of nowhere.
No, the Kings barely beat the Warriors, and that was that's a tech where Draymond got teched and kicked. Dude, that dude's just fucking crazy, bro. He's so crazy.
Oh wait, it was that game?
Yeah,
that they got eliminated.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So, but you know what? It's just interesting. It's kind of cool to see some of these.
So,
NBA,
who plays who? Is it 1 plays 4?
Or so yeah, 1 plays 4. So the Lakers play Phoenix, and then Sacramento plays New Orleans. Then Milwaukee plays the Knicks.
Ooh.
And then Indiana plays Boston. I like that game more. Trey Hilburton. I don't know how I can say his name for the Pacers. He's been on a fucking tear just recently.
What's cool is this is actually a lot more fun than I don't know. But now they go to Vegas, right? You said?
Yeah, I think. I don't know when it starts, but they do go to Vegas. I don't know if the games are played in Vegas, but I know the championship game will be played in Vegas.
Do these guys play extra games, or is this just added to their
no the other teams are still playing?
No, it is in Vegas. The whole thing's in Vegas and starts the 7th of December.
So was it already written in that like how did they make the schedule for like that's weird because like they didn't know who
it's
was
just
gonna
2 games.
Go.
They play on the 7th and then they play on the 9th. And I think the 8th, the 7th. So
then they have to have
2
the
games on the 7th,
right?
and then they have the 9th as the championship game.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Thursday and a Saturday.
Wow. 2 games? These NBA players even play 2 games?
Well, they normally do. They play like double, like back-to-back nights.
No, I'm talking the same day they play 2 games?
No. So the East semifinals and the West semifinals will play on the 7th.
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
Quarterfinals are going to start. Quarterfinals start next week. So Monday, the Kings take on Pelicans and the Pacers take on the Celtics. Then on Thursday or Tuesday, you get the Lakers take on Phoenix and Milwaukee takes in New York. And I think that's all in Vegas. No, it's all at different places at their like home respective fields. But then that's on that day, Tuesday, right? Monday and Tuesday. And then on that Thursday, I believe, is when they're headed to Vegas. So they literally got to turn around and go right to Vegas to go play there. So it is weird how they do it. I don't know how they pick these games or what they end up doing. Maybe they just take some of the like whoever they were playing and throw them in some like a little cycle. And hey, these are who you're playing then on these days, such and such, blah 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 blah. But who knows? Interesting.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Besides that, I mean, to be honest,
I'm picking the Celtics to take it all.
The Celtics?
It's the team I'm ride or dying with.
They do look good.
Yeah.
I think I'll actually go for Phoenix.
Okay.
I just got to go with my boy. You guys know.
LeBron?
Yeah, right. LeBron. Faithful to
Did
LeBron.
I ever send you that video of him going through the list of tight ends?
He could probably be. Yeah, I know.
Well, no, he was trying to list all these. It was like National Tight End Day, and he was trying to list all these, but you could tell he was like scrolling through a list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, dude, it's not your sport. I get it, but I don't watch much basketball really, to be truthful, during this time. I like it closer to the playoff time where it gets a little bit more competitive. The one thing that I will say that's just crazy, and the thing you gotta like respect a little bit, I feel like, is LeBron is still being LeBron. You guys, this is insane. Like it's statistically, it's insane what he's doing.
He just passed the marker for the most minutes played
ever.
Yep, but it was in that
That's
game that he
crazy.
got destroyed.
Oh, against the Clippers.
Yeah, kind of a bittersweet game.
They got
I'm over it.
destroyed.
Good for them. Good for him.
You're over it. Why
Get out
you're
of the
over it?
game.
Tired of seeing
Well,
greatness?
Just tired of hearing him.
I
Hearing his
get it.
name.
Well, you know what? I don't think like he's the face
I agree.
anymore. Like I think he
No,
still
he's
is
not.
like LeBron, but like I will. That's why I put Giannis or I put Jokic or I put Luka.
He's
Like those
not
are
the
the
face
faces of the
anymore,
NBA.
but he's the most recognizable player in the NBA.
Yeah. I think this. Okay, so you guys can tell me if you understand. Like, yeah, I know you all. Everybody will understand this, but I saw a post with JJ Redick. First off, JJ Redick, I feel like is somehow the Stephen A. Smith of the basketball world, where he says,
Yeah,
things that
I
are a
would
little
agree with that.
controversial. But I feel like
Yeah.
he's more educated. Like he at least has good points and he says good things. He was talking about his son was in an AAU tournament, and in basketball they have a gather step, right? Like so, traveling isn't all the same. It's not like you take 3 steps. They have like you can take like this extra step or whatever it is called a gather step. And it's legal in the FIBA, it's legal in the NBA, but it's not legal in like AAU basketball. And so he talked about how that's like actually long-term prohibiting or giving a disadvantage to American players, allowing foreigner players to gain better skill sets, to be a little bit better, and with all those like little tools that they're getting. I was curious what you guys think about those longevity of those rules, because it's different, right? Like it's so crazy to think like, well, it's 3 steps, it's plain and simple. But sometimes it's not always black and white. Like we talk about that a lot with the refs and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, the fact that somebody in whatever Lithuania isn't that where whatever
Luka.
in Lithuania, yeah, someone from Lithuania that could their whole life use that extra step and like actually perfect it and get good with it to where I'm in America and I can only do X, Y, or Z. Sure. Makes you a little better.
So a gather step is a step refers to an extra third step that a player can make after picking up their dribble. So it's basically how you get a lot of these like a step back threes, because I feel like they are doing play moves and then they're like and then they're shooting as they're gathering. So it makes sense. I know you guys were just saying it wasn't really much of a hot topic, but I like JJ Redick actually. I liked him as a player and I like listening to him as like an analyst too. I feel like he's very forward with a lot of his views.
Yeah,
someone I don't mind listening to.
There's certain ones he says I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up. But yes, I would agree with you. He makes more valid points than not.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the NBA did an okay job with this in-season tournament to try to make it better. I would say okay because we're talking about it, right? Like we're actually keeping up with it. So it's like.
Also, do you guys know who Josh Giddey is?
Josh Giddey, the guy.
I'm following that story.
OKC?
Yeah.
What happened?
21-year-old, he's getting accused for relations with an underage woman.
What? People on the internet found like a picture of him and someone leaked it out and said that the girl in the picture at the time that picture is taken is a junior in high school, a 16-year-old, and he's 21. So it's gotten to the point where now the police are actually investigating it. It
was in California.
Excuse me?
It was in California where the age of consent is 18. So if they find anything, no, believe it or not. In Michigan, Texas. When I was a kid, it was 16. And then other places, it's even lower.
Whoa, lower. I think it's 16 in Texas too. That's crazy. That's weird though. That you,
McJam, are you looking that up? Because I am curious to see if that's still the case or if Michigan has moved it up to 18.
It's weird.
Hey, we're talking about how good Wemby's been, but your Spurs are 3-14.
Yeah, they're not great.
Well, he's been good for a rookie, and like he's shown flashes of why he was the number 1 pick. But yeah, the Spurs. Do you see your boy?
Not really that hot.
Oh my God, they're so bad. They're so bad.
How are they so bad? I thought you were so excited.
I was, but like clearly they're gonna need more time to grow and mature. They're a young team. I love the hire in Monty still. I think he's just gonna need a little bit more time. And not to jump topics too fast, but the one thing I am excited about in Detroit, Alex, did you see who the Red Wings signed?
Crazy.
I would have never thought I'd see the day that Patrick Kane was a Detroit Red Wing. That I woke up to that news and that blew my mind. I was like, "What?" I wore my Red Wings sweatshirt just for that day.
What?
It was huge.
Why?
His contract was technically up after the Rangers, and he wanted to have some hip surgery or something to feel a little bit better. So he did that, and now he's ready to come back. And I guess out of the handful of teams that were pursuing him, he liked the coach of the Red Wings, and
he was out this season technically.
Yeah, he hasn't played yet.
Dang,
he's been recovering from a surgery, hasn't played yet. As you know, last year he was traded to the Rangers from the Blackhawks, where he spent all of his career.
I thought Towns was gone too. I was like, oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
but he did not until this.
He did
year.
not. But Patrick Kane is reuniting with an ex-teammate on the Red Wings. I'm totally blanking on his name now. It starts with a B. Brendan
Shaw.
I'm totally going to be so mad at myself when I go and edit this. No, that's not it.
So mad at
but myself. He's going to have a former teammate. He likes the coach of the Red Wings. Obviously, he likes what Steve Yzerman is doing to that team. Now it's only a 1-year contract, so
doesn't matter. Brings good.
We got to keep him.
Veteran,
it definitely does. It definitely does. And so I'm super excited about that. Like I think the Wings make the playoffs again this year.
I was crazy when I woke up to that. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like,
"Yeah." Oh. That was the first thing I saw when I woke up that morning. I was like, "Whoa!" Would have never guessed, because when the Red Wings were in the Western Conference, the Blackhawks are easily probably our biggest rival, no doubt. Another Original Six team right across the lake. Like that was our huge rival, and so I would have never bet that Patrick Kane would ever be a Red Wing.
Never. I thought
that's like Sidney Crosby being a Red Wing.
No. I thought it was crazy that.
But that's what that is.
No, I understand. I thought it was crazy that the Blackhawks even traded him to the Rangers.
Like he wanted to go.
I understand.
And that's where he wanted to go.
The Rangers look good
at the time.
The Penguins look okay. Crosby's having a hell of a season. They're just not putting it together all the way. Their goalies are a little bit shaky.
How much longer do you think he's got?
Who's that?
2-3 years.
Crosby. Yeah. You think he finishes with the Penguins?
Oh, there's no way. There's no way he's good. Like this, it's just like
he Shane Dones it.
Yeah, yes. Like, can you imagine? Like, could you imagine the uproar that there would be in the NHL just from everybody? Like, if Crosby left.
That's what I do love about hockey is that is probably the most loyal sport,
because it's not like Gretzky going from the Oilers to the Kings where he's still kind of no, it's like Crosby's put in the years, like the years and years and years and years and years, decades, 2 decades.
At least I want to say he got drafted in like
2005. Yeah, 2005, I think. So he's almost 2 decades. I think he almost goes 2 decades, and I think he might, if they don't do something good, then you might call it quits. But the thing is, I think him and Malkin and Letang almost all call it quits together. I think it's gonna happen. I think
him and Malkin for sure. I think.
Oh, for sure, him and Malkin for sure are gonna call it quits, and like they're gonna be done, and it's gonna suck because our 2 top line centers are gonna be the Bruins. Bruins lost Krejci and Bergeron, 2 top line centers that were just
that's true.
Great, and they're still crazy good, but you lost your 2 top line centers. No, you're not gonna be. I mean, the
Red Wings got a big win over them actually. So like that's what I'm saying. They were already showing so much improvement, and now they get Patrick Kane, who just had his first practice with them. So who knows what? Like I'm assuming he's going to start playing relatively soon, at least in the power plays.
Center is he a winger?
He's a winger, and I would assume they would start him out in the power play.
Yeah,
to let him get back into it before he earns a spot on the line.
Yeah. Well, boys, anything else for this episode? Anything else you boys want to talk about?
I
Nope.
think I'm wrapped
Well,
up, brother. We caught up,
per
I think.
the usual, follow us on all socials at 3 Amigos Podcast. Thank you, boys, for hanging out. Thank you, boys, for talking sports. And if you don't follow us, what can they do? Go
fuck themselves.
Thank you so much. And boys, until next week, see you guys.
See ya. Have a great night.